Yes.
Yeah, welcome to everyone. This is Gayatri. I'm program director in MulteArts. MulteArts means be a versatile. We have the tagline be a versatile. That means if you are part of MulteArts, you can learn anything. If you want to learn anything, you can learn here. You can do if you want to learn anything, you can learn here. And we have so many things. And actually nowadays parents are know about their children, but they are confusing about how to uh, motivate the children, how to grow up the children. When we are confusing, we have in the some confusing state. So to clear all the doubts about parenting, one guest is there with us. Mamata, can you introduce him?
Yeah, Isakka.
Yes.
Future navigation strategist, software engineer turned entrepreneur. Once he discovered his passion, former visiting faculty at Symbiosis.
Welcome, sir. Vipul, sir. We heartily
Yes.
welcome to you. Thank you for the session. You can start the session, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, you need to give me permission to start my video.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. So thank you very much for inviting me, and you are giving your time at this point in time. And before we begin, I would like to know if how many of you are actually interested to know whether we will be able to give a secure future to our children or not. So please write in the comment box because I'm not able to see. If you all can switch on your videos, that will be fine. If you're not comfortable with that, just write in the comment box how many of you are interested to know whether we will be able to secure the future of our children or not. Just write in the comment box if you are interested. Okay, Shiva is interested. We have 9 participants. Please write down how many of you are interested. And should I assume the remaining of the participants, Usha ji is interested, remaining are not interested? And should I assume that? All right. So thank you for answering. Even if we are anyways here and we are going to begin the session here. So I'll start sharing my screen. And before we begin about this is what I call as a future navigation triangle. As we are moving ahead into the future, these are the 3 areas where our children, like in career, in academics, and life. And it's not that it's about the future, but career, academics, and life is concern for all parents or with regards to their children. But going ahead into the future, the way future is getting shaped up, these things are going to really become tricky if parents are not aware. And in order to understand why, I would like to begin with a small video in order to set the context that today, on today's date, all parents have primarily 3 concerns. Number 1, best school. Number 2, which is the best suitable stream after class 10th. And a third number, it's about which is the best institute where we can send our children. And now, is this going to remain valid going ahead into the future? To understand that, we have to understand at present, at this point in time, what is existing at present and from where it has come. So I'm sharing this video, and immediately after the video, we will carry on with how to navigate the future. Is my voice, is the sound of the video audible? Can someone
No,
write in the
video sound is, not audible.
okay, I'll make it audible. Thank you. Now?
Yeah, it is audible now.
Okay. this presentation screen is visible, no?
Visible.
Okay.
What is going to be the future of learning? I do have a plan, but in order for me to tell you what that plan is, I need to tell you a little story which kind of sets the stage. I tried to look at where did the kind of learning we do in schools, where did it come from? And you can look far back into the past, but if you look at present day schooling the way it is, it's quite easy to figure out where it came from. It came from about 300 years ago. And it came from the last and the biggest of the empires on this planet. Imagine trying to run the show, trying to run the entire planet without computers, without telephones, with data handwritten on pieces of paper and traveling by ships. But the Victorians actually did it. What they did was amazing. They created a global computer made up of people. It's still with us today. It's called the bureaucratic administrative machine. In order to have that machine running, you need lots and lots of people. They made another machine to produce those people, the school. The schools would produce the people who would then become parts of the bureaucratic administrative machine. They must be identical to each other. They must know three things. They must have good handwriting, because the data is handwritten. They must be able to read, and they must be able to do multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction in their head. They must be so identical that you could pick one up from New Zealand and ship them to Canada, and he would be instantly functional. The Victorians were great engineers. They engineered a system that was so robust that is still with us today, continuously producing identical people for a machine that no longer exists. The empire's gone. So what are we doing with that design that produces these identical people? And what are we going to do next, if we ever are going to do anything else with it? So that's a pretty strong comment there. I said schools as we know them now, they're obsolete. I'm not saying they're broken. It's quite fashionable to say that the education system's broken. It's not broken. It's wonderfully constructed. It's just that we don't need it anymore. It's outdated. What's the kind of jobs that we have today? Well, the clerks are the computers. They're there in thousands in every office. And you have people who guide those computers to do their clerical jobs. Those people don't need to be able to write beautifully by hand. They don't need to be able to multiply numbers in their heads. They do need to be able to read. In fact, they need to be able to read discerningly. But that's today. But we don't even know what the jobs of the future are going to look like. We know that people will work from wherever they want, whenever they want, in whatever way they want. How is present-day schooling going to prepare them for that world?
So this is the reason, I mean, this is the foundation, like because now we are going to talk about the future, we have to understand what is existing at present and from where it has come. So beautifully, the person who is conducting his TED talk has clearly explained. And what happened is still the system which is continuing. The major concerns which we expressed about the best school, the best college, and the best stream based on currently existing system, and accordingly getting a best institute. So this is what is existing right now. When we come to class 10, our children, we want to discuss, like most of the boards, we are considering all the state boards and CBSE boards. Some boards may have different patterns, but at present, at this point in time, somewhere around class 10th, we have to decide about one of these subjects. Mind you, one of these subjects, that means you cannot you cannot combine biology with commerce. You can choose as a subject maybe, but you cannot combine the career. So one of these streams, And then finally, we want to find out a particular institute, competitive exams, good college, good and secure job. Now, the problem which is coming, the challenge which has come up, which has led to the birth of National Education Policy 2020. This policy basically got started to frame somewhere in the year 2015. However, after pandemic hit, COVID came up, and this policy was implemented, and it has been made as a norm which is going to get implemented in due course of time through schools. I mean, implemented schools implementation will begin in couple of years. However, it's no more a draft; it's a proven policy. It has passed through the government. What does this policy say? Because when we have to improve the existing system, what contributions do we need? So on page number 57, this is what is very critical for our discussion here. In the 1986-92 National Policy on Education was formulated. The last policy was formulated 34 years before. At that time, it was difficult to predict the disruptive effect that the internet would have brought, because internet was not existing at that point in time. Our present education system's inability to cope with these rapid and disruptive changes places us individually and nationally at a perilous disadvantage. This is what now the government in their policy are clearly accepting, that the education system which is existing right now really needs great shift, great improvisation. And just to give you a glimpse about what is the word here, rapid and disruptive, I have clearly highlighted them with red color. There is a particular reason behind it why I have done so. So when they are saying it's rapid and it's disrupting, disruption means something which is existing and it's changing very quickly, and we are not able to cope up with the change. That comes in a broad definition of disruption. So as a result of this, what has happened? As a result of this, they are clearly accepting that many of the jobs are going to be replaced by the machine. Now let me bring this concept in the real world at this point in time. In the year 2012, one of the futurists, Mr. Thomas Frey, had predicted that by 2030, 200 crores jobs will be lost. 200 crores jobs will be lost. Exactly, this is what, if you have observed in 2020, this is what they are saying. Education policy is accepting it with various dramatic scientific and technological advances such as big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence. Many unskilled jobs worldwide may be taken over. So I am really sorry to make it a little bit theoretical, but this is very important to understand at this point in time, that in 2012, it was predicted that so many jobs are going to go away. National Education Policy, which got framing in 2015 and finally coming into existence by 2020, is accepting that unskilled jobs may be lost. They are still saying that they may be taken over by machines. Now, the word rapid has been used so many times in the education policy, and finally we came across COVID. Many of the jobs and work people had to face through less opportunities, loss of jobs, exploitation, and hike has been abandoned. So all these things I'm share in the context is, this is from 2012, the new education policy came. Now in 2019, Business Insider has mentioned that half of the Indian students will not have a skill for the next century jobs. This is the state of MBAs and 80% of engineering graduate. This is by FICCI. This is all credible stats. And EY is Ernst & Young is saying that 99% of MBAs and 80% of engineering students are unemployable. And in Uttar Pradesh, over 93,000 candidates, including 3,700 PhD holders, apply for peon job in UP. So the whole purpose of sharing all these stats from where this education system has come, the whole purpose is to actually, these stats are no more stats. That's what I'm going to share now. These stats are no more stats. This has become a worldwide reality. And let me show to you how it has become a reality. After COVID, this is a company known as AMP Robotics, Reimagining Recycling. So this is a company which was used, which basically recycles the waste. Nowadays, there is a lot of work happening for nature and ecosystem to balance so that the next generation can be provided with good environment. This was a company which was working in recycling Before COVID, they had so many of the people who were working for the company. Now, after COVID, what has happened? When the education policy is using the word rapid and disruption, they are saying that may be taken by the machines going ahead into the future. It's not 100% accurate. Jobs have already started to go away, especially when we are talking about unskilled jobs. And you can observe this from here.
There's a tremendous amount of value captured in paper and plastic and metal that right now is lost at the landfill. The trouble is, the value of this material is really eroded by the cost of sorting it out in these recycling centers. Today's technology requires a tremendous amount of manual labor to ensure.
You can see here so many of people were involved, as they are clearly expressing that lot of manpower is required when we want to segregate the waste products which are coming inside.
High purities of materials, but now that's changing. And what that means is that previous operations that were done manually and maybe done a little haphazardly can now be systematized, controlled, and automated.
The technology that AMP has developed in this vision system is that it perceives objects that are potentially bent, deformed, folded, crushed, just like you and I would if we were looking at the materials in these sorting facilities. So it's using the same kind of perception and logic as a human being. What we're able to do is not only quantify and sort how many coffee cups there are, but we could also report how many Starbucks cups there are.
So the purpose of sharing this particular video, it's long video, but like 1 more minute, but jobs are not going to be lost. Jobs have already started to go away. In the initial portion of the video, you saw so many man-force were working to segregate the waste, and now it is being done by artificial intelligence. Now, there may be a question. Okay, Vipul, okay, fine, it's happening, but it's not going to happen so fast in India. It's just happening around other countries which are well developed. No, it is not true. This is company in India, Wing Labs Technologies. They are already started to do this in India. So the people who would have sorted out these waste, who would have got employment, where the skill is like not exactly engineering skills or medicine skills, but the unorganized sector, the skills which was required to do all this are now being done by artificial intelligence. Now let me move to another example. This is very strange kind of example. This is David's Bridal. It's a company which has more than 300 stores in United States and in United Kingdom. And what they do is they take all the orders. They used to take orders for the dresses for like when the marriage is there. And before COVID, they had many call centers. As soon as COVID came, the call centers were closed. Once the call centers were closed, what they did at very fast speed, they came up with an app. This happened during the COVID. They came up with the app. Now there are only very few people behind the scene who are dealing with these questions and all, artificial intelligence based, and they are solving the issues of the people who wants to book some order. And all the people who were in the call centers are now no more have jobs. And mind you, those jobs are not going to come back because the artificial intelligence related apps are doing the work in a much better fashion. People are more satisfied, and it only requires very few people to manage all these things in the background. This is another example. Now I want to share next example. This is a company known as Fast Track. How this company became very prevalent after the COVID is, when we go through, when we are traveling, there are toll plazas, and when we go through those tolls, there are people who take money and who give us the receipt. Now, when the COVID hit, you can read here, cash is not being collected at Bay Area bridges due to COVID-19. So this cash has been stopped manually being collected, and it has already started with the help of this company that you can pay the cash through this app. So the jobs of the people who were working there is gone. This is another company, Savioke. They already have these robotic machines, not just in healthcare. Here, the image which you are seeing is with regards to healthcare, but in healthcare, in hospitality, in high-rise buildings, and in logistics, they have already deployed these machines. So, considering hospitality, within a hotel, there are people who come to our room, whom in Western countries they are called as butlers, and they offer towels and all those things. So already these machines have replaced those jobs because of the COVID, so that there is touchless thing happening. And this is another example of what is happening. So the purpose of sharing all these live example was to come to this point back, that when the education policy, which we do not know when it is going to be properly implemented and to what degree it is going to get implemented, they are mentioning that worldwide may be taken over by machines. No, it is already gone to the machines. So what exactly do we require when we are talking about the future of our children? Here comes the major concept, that is agile mindset imperative, because it is predicted most of the careers in which our children will be there 10 years down the line. Right now, those who are in schools, something about 7 years to 10 years down the line, they are going to go in the working world. And at that point in time, 65 to 70% of the nature of the jobs of the children in school today does not exist. We do not know. So that's why the first thing, as this particular session was about how the future is shaping up, and can we assess whether our generation or that our children are ready to survive in the future. The first thing which everyone has to do is this, that we have to build an agile mindset. And what exactly is an agile mindset that we have to help our children to build? It is also mentioned on page 1. Indeed, with the quickly changing employment landscape and global ecosystem, this is being accepted at government level. It is becoming increasingly critical that children not only learn, but more importantly, learn how to learn. So, my dear friends, it is not about skill development only, because today we may learn a particular skill and we do not know what is the validity of that skill. So it's not basically to become fearful, but we have to help children, not just children, even we have to have this attitude that, okay, based on my today's skill, this is what I'm able to accomplish. But we have to have the mindset that in future, if this skill is not required, then we are ready to learn another skill which will be relevant at that point in time. And the same mindset we have to give to our children compulsorily if we want them to survive or remain secure in the future independently and happily. This is very important, because some kind of jobs will always be there, even for people who are not having this particular mindset. But the nature of jobs is very difficult that we will be able to give good quality of life. And now there may be a question coming in your mind that how, is it not making us insecure that we develop a particular skill and going ahead in time, we may not have that skill? So it's not going to be insecure, because artificial intelligence is going to help us with that also. All right. This is a company known as Fathom.ai. This company uses artificial intelligence to analyze in a particular organization which are the jobs at present which can be automated, and which are the jobs which in due course of time will get generated, and how we can keep on skilling, upskilling, reskilling our own employees. That organization, jo bhi software ko, like the organization, whoever will use this software or this AI based enterprise product, it's not just a software, it's an enterprise product. So we can keep track of when there is a probable chance of our skill going obsolete, and the next skill, what kind of skill will be required. Have a look at this. Here you can see the last sentence they have mentioned, which jobs in your organization could be impacted by automation. So we can keep track. This is the beauty of future, that we can keep track of the skill which we have learned and what are the possibilities, chances of that particular skill becoming irrelevant in due course due to automation. Now, where can augmentation, because I don't know if most of you may be seeing this session from a mobile, and I'm not sure if the screen is sufficiently visible. So I'm just pausing and repeating, because it's very, very, very important for us to understand and come out of fear for ourselves and come out of fear for our children also. Where can augmentation drive capacity gain and increased productivity? So which particular field can grow within that organization, which can be automated, which can grow, where we can send more people in? Third thing, what new jobs will be created through the adoption of emerging technologies? Because technology will keep on, with exponential speed, technology is going to increase more and more and more. It's not going to stop, especially after COVID, when the touchless became basic necessity. So because the organizations experience that if we stop, there are good chances, many places they are able to manage the work from remote sources. So more and more experience of that particular setup is going to increase. So which technologies are going to come, and for that, how we can accordingly we will be able to reskill or upskill a particular person. And the screen is small. I'll just express. On the left side, it is select the current job, and on the right side, select the target job. And what they are mentioning is pivot score. A pivot score is a score which this enterprise-based product calculates in order to find out that this particular thing is going to go in automation, and this next skill, what is the difference of amount of learning or reskilling required. So the whole purpose is we want to match that if this thing is going, what is going to come up and how we can prepare for that. All right, so again, to bring the whole thing, when we're talking about future, from where the present thing which is existing right now has come, how everybody is agreeing that the present thing is obsolete and not sufficient. It's not broken, but it's not sufficient to help us going ahead into the future. And going ahead into the future, automation is going to come and it is going to replace job, which was like maybe, but now after COVID, it is actually replacing the jobs. And now we have to help our children to develop this attitude that they have to learn how to learn, and they have to keep this agile mindset of continuously adapting according to the changing situations. And we are going to receive benefit from the artificial intelligence itself to keep updated according to what's going to come. The problem here is going to come when, if people still remain thoughtful from, with the impression or belief system of the past that okay, एक चीज मैंने सीख ली है, अब इस चीज का पूरा लाइफ लॉन्ग मेरा करियर रहेगा. That is not a necessity, and in fact it is not going to happen like that. It's not going to happen like that, because technology is the number one thing which has enhanced after COVID, due to COVID. So this was the first thing which I wanted to share in terms of when we are going ahead into the future. So it's not about skill development only. It is about primarily about the attitude, that is the state of mind, attitude of learning, how to learn whatever be the skill. This will give our children security in the future, this mindset, because they will always be able to adapt to the situation. And this has been shared by another futurist, Heather McCabe. So old paradigm was higher education for certain particular number of years, then a job ladder, and then we retire. But the new paradigm is you learn, you utilize that skill, you learn from whatever work you are doing, and you learn different skill, then you utilize it somewhere else, and you keep on doing this throughout the life. This is what going to be the future. This is another chart to discuss the same thing. Previously, education, work, now learning and work throughout. So this was the first point which I wanted to communicate. It was about developing ourselves, this particular attitude of learning how to learn, or lifelong learner, and similarly passing out this seed or the seed of thought to our children within their minds, that we have to always encourage them that this attitude is being developed. It's not just about the marks. Of course, marks are important because it gives us a lot of information about the aptitude of a child in the fields, and the fields which we are having right now in school or colleges, that is core mathematics or sciences or arts or humanities, these are definitely the fields of the future. So aptitude is definitely important. The academics are also important, but only academics are not going to help us remain secure in the future. This attitude is very, 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 very important. And why I'm emphasizing this is, in general, we can observe at this point in time, I don't know, most of the people in country is not has not grown through this attitude. And because of that, whenever there is something to learn, it becomes difficult. Like if you ask to a doctor that, okay, let us have a software, let us do this all digital things, and they immediately become fearful. Array, I'm not a technology person. If we ask a technology person, okay, have some basic knowledge about medicine, have some fundamental understanding, have some understanding about emergency care, they start feeling that I'm a technical person. I was not, I never took biology. So this particular attitude, it's very difficult for the existing teachers and existing parents to understand this particular attitudes gift we have to give to children, because we have not born through it, most of us. That's why anytime our children are learning something, it is very important that we encourage it. So this was the first concept which I wanted to discuss, and we have some more time. I would request participants to express something from their side, what exactly they are feeling, and then we will move on to the next concept. I don't want it to be just a session from a one-sided session and I'm just speaking. So what do you feel? What do you feel? Yes, somebody would like to express. Somebody would like to express. Or let us do this one thing. I'm sharing a particular link in the chat box. If you are feeling shy to express, just go on this link and there is a question. Just answer that particular question, and that will help us to see what exactly, I mean, you can share what is going on inside you, because 40 minutes of time is over. So something must be going on inside you. In case if you're feeling shy to express it here, you just click on this link. There is a question and you can mention there, and we will be able to see some of the answers. Yes, please. What's the biggest challenge you are facing right now? It could be your personal or related to your children. You can just write in one word or a couple of words. Okay, Srinivasji has a question, very informative. But Whitehead Junior like that helps us. Whitehead Junior. Whitehead Junior, basically they are helping children to develop a particular skill, that is of coding. They are currently in, for some point in time, like very bad has been being spoken about Whitehead Junior because of the kind of advertisement they did. If coding is definitely going to be an important skill, but in order to actually understand see, there are so many of software engineers in our country and they are having lots and lots of knowledge, but nobody is going to have a package which Whitehead Junior was expressing through their advertisement of 12 crores, 150 crores and making an app at the age of 12. So it was most of, like, it's a matter going on in court. The approach they made in terms of how to help people, to like encourage people. So coding is definitely going to be a skill of future. However, we need to understand the life of a software engineer who spends most of their time in coding, and we have to assess the personality and nature of our child. It is not just matching the skill with future, that okay, this skill is going to be in the future, so let's connect them and tell our child to do this. So coding is about problem solving. When we are writing some code in softwares, we are solving some problem. So we have to have the assessment, like, can our child feel inspired? Have we observed that our children has been sitting for 8 to 10 hours and doing some work, or spend, or he or she has spent some 7 8 hours thinking about solving a particular problem? Is this connected with the nature of our children? Apart from that, a lot of thing is involved in coding in mathematical aptitude. So we also have to find out about that, that how good they are in maths, and not just how good in terms of academics, but how much time they spend in learning maths out of curiosity and interest. This observation is also very important, which we have to make. So there are multiple considerations. Coding is definitely going to be there in the future. It is in the national education policy also, they are going to incorporate. But that is a basic the concept is that okay, learn, this is a skill, just learn. But to make it as a career, we have to assess multiple other factors. I hope I have answered your question. What advice you would like to give for the jobless in this present scenario? The advice is very clear: personality, opportunity, and training. Understand your personality. Like, I'll share this live. Let me share this. So if you go to this particular website, 16personalities.com, I'm also sharing the link with you. And it's not just at this point, it's going to be forever. 16personalities.com. So you can, this particular 36 crores 61 lakhs 38,266 people have given this test. So a lot of data they have accommodated, and they have come up with a basic understanding of different kinds of individuals. So you go to this website, give your test, and suppose one of the thing comes, suppose you comes out to be a architect, and just let's go into the architect thing, right? And you read about your strength, your weakness, your relationships, attitude, friendship, parenthood, career paths, work habits, and all those things. I do not give much importance to this terminology, that is INTJ-A or INTJ-T, because I don't want to like tag a person ki aap aise hi hain. But this thing gives a lot of clarity in terms of how, what kind of nature, what kind of personality we have. So this is the first thing, we understand our personality as best as we can. After that, we try to find out what kind of opportunities are shaping up in the future. So I'll give another example. What kind of opportunities which are going to come, or which are futuristic opportunities. So this is my own course. This is my own course. Here I have a course known as Future Career Opportunities. So in this particular future career opportunities, I have, I'll just share what I have done. I have mentioned about, I've mentioned about these 16 fields which are futuristic, that is health, digital, farming, alternate energy, stock market, occult sciences, technology, gig economy, designing, spirituality. All are these fields which are futuristic, and where you can actually earn, by learning the particular skill, you can earn money. So in that course, I have mentioned about these 50 fields for which nobody requires a degree. You just need to learn the skill. So first thing is understanding the personality. Second thing is to understand what kind of opportunities are coming in future. And third thing is to find out a person who is actually earning money. Please note this thing, this is going to be the future, and future is about learning from doing people. So all the people who are actually earning money in that particular field, and they are also training, if we learn from them, we become skillful and we can start earning. And we can do it with full passion, because we have already matched that it is in connection with our personality. So this is for somebody who has lost their jobs, which is very unfortunate. But in order to save our children from in future to lose these jobs, they also have to do the same under concept. They have to understand their personality, they have to understand the opportunity, and they have to become trained. So for them, it's not necessary that they have to do without degree. They can do it through degree, or they can also do without degree. That is possible on today's date because of the internet. Just like in the education policy, they are saying that previously when we designed this education policy, we were not knowing what changes internet will bring about. So personality, opportunity, and becoming trained. That's it. These three simple things are there. And when we become good in whatever we are doing, we will remain relevant. All right. And for 9 years, boy, which type of courses we choose for better career? Sir, again, the same things. First, we have to understand the person as a whole. First, we have to understand the person as a whole. Once we understand the person, we can find out which fields are more suitable. Once we understand the person, and then accordingly we can decide about the courses. So it's not just one time, I'm just sharing the principle. It's an exercise which we need to carry. There are psychometric assessment, there are you can do one thing. You fill this form, I'll give you access to my course, and in my course I have a formula. In my course I have a formula. I'll share what exactly the formula. I'll give access to this course for free if you fill this form. And in my course, there is a formula which is known as gift discovery formula. Here you can see in this gift discovery formula, I have given 10 steps where we assess our children from their behavior and nature from childhood and through artificial intelligence, and different methodologies I have given, and we can find out the core nature of the of our child or of any children. And once we find that, we match it up with our academics, aptitude, and all the competitive exams, and accordingly we decide the course and the training. So course and training are second aspect. What will be best? Best will be that which we have sufficiently thought about, considering their nature and personality and aptitude, interest, and motivations. I hope this answers. I've sent the link. You can fill that form. I'll get your email ID, so I'll be able to give you access to the course. Yeah, I tried in DDIP. Sindhu, can you explain what is DDIP? Is it Digital Deepak Internship Program? I think the full form is like that. DDIP is Digital Deepak Internship Program. So yes, so you have tried. All right. So where have you reached? Because the Digital Deepak Internship Program is a very broad program. They are teaching something about SEO also, about Facebook advertisement also, about making your website also. So it's good to go through that program because it is very practical program. Teaching, everything is being taught directly, like hands-on experience is being given. However, the better, my personal experience or my personal suggestion would be to take a particular step out of that, like become an expert in either Facebook or in SEO or in website designing or in managing the community, and then go deep inside it. That would be my, if I would have gone, I would have taken the next step after DDIP, it would have been like this only. And what are career opportunities after BBA? There are so many career opportunities after BBA. So we can discuss about this personally. I'll also I've also shared about it in my program, Rekha. If you can fill this form, I'll get the email ID, I'll give you access. So you will be able to know about what exactly the careers in BBA. I can also give, I'll have to have like, you share your details and we'll have a personal conversation where I'll explain you in detail, because it's very broad. There are so many opportunities. I need to understand your specific situation to give some suggestion. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Welcome. All right. Are there any more questions? Anybody has any question? Yes, please fill the form, Rekha, and I'll be able to guide you further. And the course access is totally free. This is for Veenaji's community. I generally charge 4,999 for my course. However, when I individually conduct my own sessions, but for Veena ma'am invited me to conduct this session for her community, and for them I have given access to this course for free. All right, so let's get back to our little bit of this thing. And I also want to give one more little bit, whatever the 10 minutes are there. So I'll give more explanation about that. So if you will go to national education policy, you like, these are the keywords which I've searched there: rote and memorization. So you go and type rote and memorization, and they will clearly, honestly accepting that our current education system is based on rote and memorization, rote learning and memorization. Multiple times they have used. And what exactly they are saying, that how exactly we want to move ahead, by understanding the talents of an individual. You go and search the word talent in the new education policy document. Go and search flexibility. Flexibility means you can explore according to your interest whatever you want. Then interest word is multiple times there, that child's interest needs to be taken in consideration. Child's interest needs to be taken in consideration. They're also mentioning about children designing their own path, and no hard separation between like mathematics or sciences or humanities or social science or arts. So of course, a person cannot be simultaneously a very expert software engineer and a Java developer and at the same time be a neurosurgeon. It's not going to happen. But a person, if decides to become a Java person, he can learn about psychology. He can also learn about marketing. He can also learn about selling, so that if he wants to do something of his own or her own independently in future, they have the necessary skill set. Similarly, a neurosurgeon can learn about digital. They can learn about technology so that they can manage their operations. Operations means not exactly the surgery, but operation of whatever they are doing, the work, their system. They can manage it properly. So in that sense, you see here, this multidisciplinary word has been used 22 times in our new education policy. That future is going to be multidisciplinary. And in fact, I'll share one more thing. It is a very exciting thing. And I recently found that you will also feel happy to know that this is a company. This is a company known as Acadu, ACADRU. I recently spent 5,000 rupees to get membership of this company, because the multidisciplinary thing has been mentioned by new education policy in the year 2020. But this company started in the year, they started with this concept in the year 2016, 6 years back, 2014. And recently they have launched their second version. And it is totally about understanding how multiple disciplines flow, and these things also helps in profile building for students and professionals. So I'm just trying to connect the multidisciplinary thing. The second concept which I'm sharing, I'll just cover it, that rote and memorization has been expressed in the national education policy, that we want to shift from there. So memorization is necessary, but not the ultimate thing which our education system do by checking the memory in the exam. It's not about that. And when they are saying that individuals can pursue their interest, their own paths, they can design their own paths, they are talking about multidisciplinary thing. And now when you go to different good universities, they do not just take admission based on academics only. This is what I wanted to come to through multidisciplinary. One example I gave is, suppose a person wants to be good in sports, they have to understand the psychology also, so that at times they can manage their stress. So that psychology part is combined with the sports. This is one example of multiple disciplines. At the same time, when we have, because we as a human have multiple interests, and as we evolve, as our age evolves, we start feeling different interests which were not there some time back. So then what to do? Those students and people, professionals, can utilize these kind of AI based companies, softwares, and they can do projects based on their own interests, and that will build their profile. So when they are going, suppose you want to go to Harvard, you go there, you say, I got 99% in academics in my class 12th. They will say, so what else have you done in your life? Because they do not want a that kind of person who is unilateral or just a linear person. They want that person's personality to come out, and all of us have different kinds of interests. So how we have pursued different interests. Suppose you want to do something for people. Have you worked in some NGO? What project you have done? Or have you gone to some school where you have taught some children? If somebody has that kind of interest. So this thing is very much going to be in consideration going ahead into the future, that overall how your profile looks, not just academic consideration. So this is another example I wanted to share, that multidisciplinary is the future. Education policy is saying it, and whether schools are able to implement it or not, I am not here to comment anything about that, because I have my apprehension, because in order to change that children, we need to change the thought process of teachers, which is going to be very, very, very difficult, even if they make all the structure and framework. So I won't comment about it. But in real world, in real work scenario, in real colleges and best of the colleges and institutes, they will be considering the person overall, and for that having a sufficiently built holistic profile is very important, without creating pressure, because when we will be doing some profile based projects, it is going to be based on our interests, which children are doing happily. So this was the second thing which I wanted to share. And now if you have any query about this, you can express about this also. All right, I'm sharing the link for this. If any one of you are interested, you can look at it. It has 3 projects for free if you want your children to get involved, but please do not pressurize children if it is naturally comes to do. So finally, what about regular jobs like groups, teachers, lawyers, doctors? I don't understand the word groups, but all other jobs are going to be there. Teacher's job is going to be there, lawyer's job is going to be there, and doctor's job is going to be there. However, all these jobs, in these jobs, the human part, like imagination, like creativity, like problem solving, critical thinking, and visualization and empathy, all the human traits, love, care, precision, because so many of the machines have come which can do surgery better than doctors. So now what exactly the role doctor will play? Doctor has to know how the machine operates. He has to understand the science about a surgery, particular surgery, and then they have to also understand how this machine operates, and they have to operate with the machine. So this is one example. Like doctors are going to be there. Who will operate? I mean, not exactly operate, but who will observe, under whose jurisdiction a particular surgery will be carried out by the artificial intelligence based software. There will be somebody who has learned the science with regards to that. So doctor's job will be there, lawyer's job will be there, but it is going to be affected by artificial intelligence. And I had recently seen an article, so but I'm not having that particular thing right now. And teachers job are also going to be there, but teachers have to teach something which is beyond just linear teaching. I'm sorry. So all these jobs are going to be there, but the role of artificial intelligence is also going to be there. So the roles will be different, and that is what teachers have to learn, that more and more and more the human part which machine cannot copy, it's going to be the traits which they have to develop. Then they will be able to, teacher will be able to teach, and doctor will be able to carry on with the surgery. All right, so thank you so much for this particular session, ma'am. It's 6 o'clock, and I would like to know, all the participants are almost there, so I'm very happy. Just write in the comment box how exactly you felt. There is a lot of things to be shared, because content is no more remaining, like content is not less. The important thing is how to curate the content, and at the same time how to facilitate the transformation. So these are the 2 most important things going into the future, because information is accessible to everyone, from the remotest of the village in India to the topmost of the country, I mean topmost of the countries of the world, and the topmost people. Information is accessible to everyone. How person can curate that information to facilitate transformation? The information age is over. Now this is going to be the age of transformation, and all those who will learn the needs of the future at this point in time, they are the ones who are going to lead the world. So Srinivas is saying thank you. Thank you, Srinivas. Teenagers, their mind will change sometimes along with friends and sometimes in other ways. How to guide them to transfer? Yes, the peer thing definitely happens. That's what I am sharing. If you have filled your this particular form which I have shared, this link I have shared, if you will fill this form, you will get access to my course. In the gift discovery formula, when you will do those exercises, you can do for yourself, and then you can request your child to sit with you, maybe for some 30-40 minutes, and you can do one by one those exercises with them. You will be understand the core personality of that person. Every individual is unique. Like I was doing softwares some 10 years back, and I realized that's not something, and somebody told me that you like to teach, you like to help people, you are good in presenting your ideas, why don't you get into teaching? And at that point I realized, oh, this is my field is, and I got into teaching at that point in time. So if this thing somebody could have observed a few years back, then I could have been doing teaching formally and more prominently from long back. So once you go through that particular course, you will understand the natural traits and personality of the person, and then you can observe that whether the child is getting misled. Because if they are, you see, anything we have interest in, we are ready to spend money and we are ready to spend time. So observe how much time your child is investing in a particular thing, and are they asking you that they want to go to next level wherever there is some professional thing is required. So when we are really interested in something, we time and money are the two things which we are ready to spend in those things. This is just one example, and actually individually it has to be done considering the scenario of child and understanding their nature and many things. But I have sorted out most of those things through my course. All right, Gayatri, I'm very clear and got to know about how the future will be like. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for spending your time and giving me the opportunity also. Yes, ma'am. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for your valuable suggestions. And we also know about how the future will be like that. Imagination after 10 years, okay, our kids will do the jobs like that, but you're saying what is the future that is visible to us, sir. Very, very informative. Thank you, thank you.
Actually, it was very 1 hour. If it would have been 3 to 4 hours, I could
Yes.
have given the whole picture, very broad picture.
Yeah, very soon we will arrange that also, sir.
Because my approach is, ma'am, it's not just telling ki AI aa raha hai, automation is going to come, AI is going to come. No, I want to actually give the experience that how it is already happening
Yeah.
in the real world. So
Yeah.
then parents and can easily correlate.
Yeah. Someone registered also. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Whoever has registered, I'll send the details of how to access the course through email, and like we can correspond over email. And in case if you have any specific direction, because it's not just one day thing to guide ourselves also, or two children also. It's not just one day. It takes a bit of time. So if I come to know better about what exactly your child's personality, nature, aptitude, motivation is there, then a better guidance can be provided.
Yeah. Thank you very much,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
Once again
Thank
from
you.
MulteArts. Yeah.
Thank you.
Actually, Meena ma'am also say thank you to. She sent the message to me.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.
Anyone,
Bye.
any doubts? You can unmute yourself and ask.
Yes, if somebody wants to talk, not just doubt, you can share your perception also. If something you ever feel objectionable, that also you can express. And I am telling you, all of you, gradually you have to come on camera. However however awkward it may feel, you might not have done it. But going ahead into the future, you have to, like, primarily, at least you have to be ready to come inside the camera. Because
Yeah,
this digital thing
actually,
is like,
due to
it's like,
Corona, due to
yeah,
Corona, children are habituated to come to,
to come
before the
online.
camera. Yeah,
Yes.
but parents are little bit. It will
Shy.
take some time.
Sometime, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Bye, sir. Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.